Welcome, everyone, to Episode 1 of Riftwalkers, Season 2. Make sure you listen to Episode 0 to get the full picture of what's happened between Seasons 1 and 2, and hear the introductions to our all-new cast of characters. Real quick, I'm Ryan, the GM, and with me today I've got...
Brett, and I'll be playing Phineas DuPont.
I'm Noah, and I'm going to be playing Serraco Castellan.
I'm Seth. I'll be playing Arnor Thrain.
I'm Chris, and I'll be playing Kayako, or Kai.
I'm Laurel, and I'll be playing Bread.
And I'm Allie, and I'll be playing Kellis Sewell.
Now, first and foremost, we'll roll for story points and obligation, which will only happen every few episodes instead of every session as the Genesis rules state. So, without further ado, let's roll obligation. That'll just be me with a 33. Oh boy. You know what that means?
I don't. I don't know what that means.
I don't like it.
That means Finn's obligation is activated.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
Spicy.
And because it's a 33,
It's a double.
it doubles the penalties. So everyone will take a -2 to their strain thresholds,
Are you kidding me?
I don't love that.
and Finn will take a -4.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Dang it, Finn.
Thanks, Finn.
All right, well, that's very fun, having an obligation in the very first episode. Now we'll go one by one, and we'll roll for story points. So first off, me. I'll add 2 light points to the story pool.
All right, I got 2 light points.
I got 1 dark point.
1 dark point.
I rolled 2 dark points.
I rolled 1 dark point.
And I rolled 2 dark points.
Ooh, thanks everyone for stacking the GM here.
We started off so strong.
I know. This is gonna be fun.
And also, just an aside, when you're using a story or a destiny point, you can also say you're using one in the player pool or the GM pool. Now, as with last season, Riftwalkers deals with mature themes and depictions of violence that are intended for a mature audience. With all that out of the way, allow me here to quickly set the stage. It has been 600 years since the God's Fall event that stripped Agadon, now Aldera, of intent. A more dangerous magic has arisen in the vacuum, however. Void. Although it catapulted the world into a pseudo-industrial age, greatly advancing technology and providing a higher quality of life for many of the world's citizens, Void, in and of itself, is incredibly volatile and dangerous, and those who come in contact with it in its various forms are forever changed. Use of Void and Void magic is strictly regulated by the Compact, the new nation-spanning organization that governs the majority of the known world. Unable to deal with local matters and individual errant mages, the Compact contracts mercenary organizations across Frenaros, the former Fel, to track these mages down and bring them in, dead or alive. The most famous and ruthless of these mercenary groups is the Ironwood Company. Specialized teams within the company take on missions of dire importance. The company's star squad, the Vipers of Ironwood, were on one such mission, when they all went missing, and their handler wound up dead on the steps of the company's Fellish compound. Now, a new team of rising talents from within the company, the Wolves of Ironwood, has been formed to track down the missing Vipers and discover their plans. Their first lead, a very powerful void mage in the small southern country of Pola, connected to one of the Vipers, an Elfkin veteran named Korvak Hist. One fateful morning, the wolves tracked this void mage to an abandoned graveyard within a small mountain valley and down into a series of catacombs just beneath it. It's there where we find them now. All around you, there is nothing but darkness. And then the sound of trickling water and crackling fire rise in your ears. Noah, give me a physical description of your character as he blinks awake, blue flames before his eyes, and dark blood matting his hair to his head.
Serraco is a young man, long dark hair on his head, with a swooping mustache and a bit more facial hair adorning his chin coming to a point. Normally dressed in the fine leathers of a bastardero, a mercenary from Tela, he looks much more disheveled now, Taking stock of him, he notices that there's a fine layer of dirt over his normally well-kept clothing. And he sits up, feeling the back of his head, trying to see if it's still bleeding at all. Feels like it's dried up. And he begins looking around to see the state of his compatriots, the other wolves.
You are alone in this, what appears to be a study. Ransacked bookshelves line the walls, their contents spilled out onto the stone floor and set aflame. A large metal basin in the center of the room is tipped onto its side, with bluish embers and charcoal scattered on the floor. I'd like you to roll an average perception check for me. That's 2 difficulty.
That is 1 failure and 1 advantage.
As you are looking around, getting your bearings, you twist one way and the other, and as you're slightly off balance, just barely sitting up here, everything's still a bit fuzzy, you smear a big wash of soot by your side. But in doing so, you are able to catch that there are glints of what appear to be footprints on the uneven cobbles of this floor. They seem to have hurriedly left the room, and as the smoke of the fire begins to sting your eyes and nostrils, that might be the best course for you as well.
Sarako leaps to his feet as quick as he can, given his current condition, and he's going to go ahead and start following the footprints in the suit as best he can, mostly just to try to get out of this burning room. You said the flames were burning blue?
Correct.
There's no obvious signs of anybody or anything else out of the ordinary inside this room?
No, you were alone. Of that you were sure.
Alrighty. Well, in that case, yeah, I'm just going to leave, and we're going to start following the footsteps, hopefully out a door. If there is a door, I'm going to close it behind me as I go to, slow down the flames, right? They're not ghosts, so...
Do you have a weapon with you?
Yes, he has a rapier on his side and a cape on his shoulder. And as he is leaving, he does take a little bit of time to kind of dust off a little bit of the soot on his clothes, just to make himself a little more presentable.
All right. Then moving into the darkness ahead, one hand pawing on these stone walls, the other thumbing the pommel of your rapier, sheathed at your belt, you stumble down the only available corridor, going from light to dark, the flickering blue flames fading as you move further and further away. Elsewhere, in this convoluted complex of catacombs, with ears ringing and a warm trickle of blood running down your temple, Brett, describe for us your character.
Finn blinks awake in this disheveled state. His hair, a matted mess of wispy gray hair, kind of sticking more out at the sides than he has on top. But for his age, which is around late 50s, he does have a good bit of hair still. His clothes it's hard to tell what's blood, what's oil, what's different various greases and muds, but it seems that a good deal of the mess is old and not new from any sort of adventuring in this cave. And as he stands or tries to get his bearings, he feels for, in particular, his satchel that he keeps around him, essentially at all times, carrying various tools, bits of metal, knickknacks, pieces of this and that he's collected along his way, but just ensuring that everything is there, doing a quick check, prying it open, fingering through a couple things, and then now returning to his checking of the room.
As you pat yourself, your belongings, you do find everything in place, and as you get to your feet, with only a single candle and a small lamp burning in the corner passage where it seems you had briefly lost consciousness, you can actually make out a couple other fallen forms, twisted in unnatural ways. And even with a cursory glance in the low light, it's clear these aren't your comrades, the other wolves.
Are they alive?
Why don't you roll perception for me? That'll be 1 difficulty.
All right.
Pretty simple.
Yes, they're breathing.
Are they alive? Not for long.
Not if he has his way.
Well, let me ask this. Do you want to take care to not disturb them, or do you not mind, bending down and rolling them over?
He would prefer, if they are undisturbed and unconscious, whatever, he'd prefer to keep them that way.
Then yeah, 1 difficulty on that, rather than 0.
Yes. All right, everything cancels out.
It's difficult to tell, just in the low light, but they don't seem to be moving at all, though you cannot make out any clear injuries from your current vantage point across this little corridor.
Okay, and roughly how many?
Just 2.
Is there a clear pathway out of this area? or what would appear to him as forward.
You're actually standing in the corner of a passage, so you've got one way right and one way left, really.
And where are these two figures?
They're just right in front of you, splayed out, one leaning right, one leaning left.
Taking as much care as he can to not disturb either figure, he is going to try to maneuver his way over one of the figures and move down the right.
As you do so, looking down this right passage, you do see in the very far distance, kind of around, probably reflected off of stones and whatnots, the tiniest flicker of light, though the color might be blue, might be white, and you hear the sound of rapidly approaching footfalls.
He is going to draw his dagger, which, also doing that equipment check, you would have found still strapped to him, and he's going to proceed cautiously into the dark.
Okay, then, Sadako, how quickly are you moving down this corridor?
Stab!
Sarako's moving at a decent pace. He's not like running, but also, you know, there's a fire behind him, so he's not like, ooh, like, let me examine the walls.
Sure.
He's just kind of going at a brisk walk.
As you turn one more corner in this hallway that you'd been jogging down, you come face to face, a little ways away, to a dark silhouette, thin individual in front of you, seeming to hold a dagger in front of him. You can't make out who it is because he's backlit by this single lamp, but you do see the two bodies on the floor behind him.
This doesn't look good.
No, it does not.
Incriminating.
Yeah.
Sarako will draw his rapier and will fall into a readied stance and then slowly move forward till he gets maybe 15 feet away.
Right. As you come into this ring of this faint flickering light, Finn, you are able to make out the features of your compatriot, Sarako Castellan.
Yes, noticing first and foremost the outline of the mustache piercing out from the face. Finn loosens up slightly, lowers his dagger a little bit. Oh, it's just you. Where are you coming from?
Finn, that is you?
Of course it's me.
Oh, good. I thought you were a brigand of sorts, coming at me with a dagger. It would have been no problem, but I prefer not to shed blood whenever necessary. I come from the library. It is burning with fire. Now, do not be alarmed, but I have no idea what is going on. Somebody hit me on the back of my head. I woke up, and next thing I know, library is burning.
Finn, turning himself halfway back to the direction he came, says, "Then we should probably head back from where I came if it is just burning books from where you were. There were two less than conscious individuals on the ground. I managed to slip past them unnoticed, but we should be on our guard. It was no one from our company."
Those two. So you killed them, or?
Finn kind of just looks at his hands. It's still dark. He doesn't really know, but not feeling like he has any additional wounds or anything on him aside from the one on his head, just kind of shrugs his shoulders. Maybe. I do not remember much after we've had found the mage. I think we should keep going the other direction. The hallway continues around that bend.
No problem. Let's go.
And Sarako will sheath his rapier once more and take off towards where Finn was coming from, paying no mind to the bodies on the ground.
Then the pair of you continue down the corridor, leaving the candlelight behind. In a room not too far away, once lined with alcoves set for the vessels of departed souls, it's been transformed into a laboratory of sorts. Assorted alchemical equipment is scattered about the room. Broken glass litters the floor, cutting into haphazardly placed rugs. Laurel, as your character comes to, his eyes fixing on a maroon shard of glass lodged in your forearm, why don't you give us a description of who you'll be playing?
Okay, why don't I do that? Which arm is the glass in? Out of curiosity.
Your right arm.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Bread is like 29-ish years old, like 5'5", 5'6", very small, sort of average build. Super pale, hair color, eyes, skin, all of it. He sort of looks like he had the color literally sucked out of him. Lots of big, dark freckles all over. One of his arms, his left arm, is blackened up to his elbow. The fingers on that arm are slightly elongated, and the skin looks sort of charred and flaky like a burned log. Very simple clothing, just white linen, essentially. And his most distinguishing feature, which probably isn't on his head if he's, like, unconscious on the ground, is a very large wooden disc hat that is about the width of his shoulders. It ties under his chin, and it has a curtain of flowers and herbs and things that hang off of it in the circumference, sort of like a 60s curtain of beads. Yeah, that's Bread.
All right.
Instant sort of like upon awaking, noticing an injury immediately, will take stock of the rest of him and see if he's injured anywhere else before attending to this one.
The rest of your corporeal form seems to have eluded any mortal wound here, barring this shard of glass embedded in your arm.
Yeah, he'll get his kit out and immediately attend to this wound. Just pull the glass out, sanitize, wrap it up.
All right. This is going to be a daunting task, so that's 4 difficulty.
Oh, man.
Holy Toledo.
Good thing I'm so good at medicine. 2 successes, 4 threats.
You are able to safely remove the glass and stabilize the wound. However, with those threats, you are going to gain the compromised critical injury, meaning all skill checks are upgraded in difficulty by 1 until that's healed.
Okay.
And you're now free to move about the room.
Okay. As he sort of gets up, he'll say to himself, not your finest moment, but we'll get over it. I'll take a look around, see what I'm dealing with.
As you're looking around this lab, why don't you roll for me an average perception check?
2 success, 1 threat.
When you're poking around, you aren't as careful, perhaps, as you would have liked to be. Many of these alchemical contraptions are precariously set as is, and with a bit of your disturbance, some of them topple and break, causing an awful lot of noise. However, you do find a peculiar parchment of schematics and formulas that are written in a language you don't quite understand, though it's definitely not a real language. It seems to be a code.
I will roll that up and take it with me.
And as you do so, given the ruckus of your rummaging, you don't notice as 2 figures enter the room behind you. An older, non-Eldarin human and a younger Talic man.
Oh, look, it's the one with the hat.
Frenemies.
His name is Bread. Bread! Hello. Good to see you. Good you are okay.
Bread will definitely sort of jump at the sudden arrival of 2 more people and turn around and offer them a very warm smile and say, either you in need of attendant?
Yes, please. Someone hit me on the back of my head and is bloody.
Yeah, I can take a look at that.
So Rocco will turn around and he'll start pointing at, where it hurts the most.
Yeah, Bread will attend to this wound if he can.
It's really just superficial, so there's maybe some stitching to take place here. And as you sit him down on a nearby stool, Finn, as you're able to poke around this lab, most of the equipment on the nearby table seems to have been shattered by someone or something. Though as you're poking through one of the tables, a desk more so, there's a couple drawers, and in one of them you find a couple pieces of almost very thin baking paper, and wedged between them are these little black gooey blobs.
Finn is gonna take it out of the drawer, covertly more so than he would any other just pieces of parchment or information. And he's just gonna stuff it into his satchel and kind of rummage around a little bit louder on a different part of the desk, apparently looking for something else, but we'll then go over back to where Bread and Sirocco are.
By the time you get there, having completed your sweep, whatever work needed to be done on Sirocco has been completed successfully.
You all right then? Bread says to Finn.
I am fine. Small knock on the head. Nothing else.
Bread knows better than to press that. Finn talked to him, so he'll take that.
Progress.
He said to the wall behind him.
Straight over Bread's head.
Didn't even look at you.
I've been speaking to you.
And before the enthralling conversation can go much further, there's a scream down a dark set of stone stairs on the other side of the room.
Well, Doctor, you should probably go check that out.
Wait. It could be big trap. So we proceed with caution, yes?
Sarako will take his rapier out once more and begin walking towards where the scream came from, somewhat slowly, right, kind of keeping close to one of the walls, as to minimize his exposed body area, just in case anybody tries shooting him with an arrow or something.
Finn and Bread, do you follow?
Yeah, Bread will pick up his hat and not put it all the way back on, just sort of tie it around his neck so that it hangs over his shoulders and follow.
Finn's gonna go slowly. He kind of, hobbles himself over a little bit, making himself appear a little older, I guess, just kind of taking advantage of that old man card. Gestures for Bread down the hallway and will give himself a little more distance. If he feels like they are well focused on the things going on down the hall, he's going to dig that stuff back out of his satchel. Whether he's being covert or not at this point, he is going to rip off the top sheet quickly, slap it onto his tongue, and kind of pull the back sheet off, and just gives a deep sigh.
LSD, huh?
It's those Listerine, strips from
Oh, yeah.
the 2000s.
But then he will continue on down the hallway.
All right. As the three of you creep into this stairwell, you begin your descent. Further down, awoken by a pained yell. Chris, why don't you give me a description of your character?
So Kai is an elfkin, and she's actually the oldest of the group, being 137 years old. Probably the human equivalent to in their 30s, something around there. And she's not necessarily short for an elfkin, but she is 6 feet, so not necessarily the tallest elfkin there is around there. You'll notice something that's probably the most distinct thing about the way she looks is her hair, which she dyes a vibrant violet color. And it's also, she has an undercut, and she styles it in a way that has a Dutch braid from the front of her head and then goes to the back and will tie into a messy bun. And she has light lavender eyes, piercing eyes. Anyways, I'm just kidding. Anyways, and she has light gray skin, and you'll notice if you're really looking at her and her face that there's a couple of stippled scars on the left side of her face. And also something that's pretty distinct is on the right side of her head, the shorn part is an intricate tattoo of a drake that kind of follows the contour of her right ear. And her garb, all of her clothing, are dark grays and blacks of a utility jacket that has a high neck collar, skinny or tighter fitting cargo pants, which is a -6 on the dating record. Anyway, so, and then she has leather black boots that go just under the knee, and she wears on her neck a necklace with a gem, a jewel hanging from there. And then she has this really long black leather trench coat.
Looking around you in this sort of repurposed common hall, there are a number of bodies, all clad in simple black robes, most of them stained with darker splotches. One, however, is far from dead, releasing a veritable banshee's scream every few moments. It's obviously a howl of immense pain as you see them try to wrench a crossbow bolt from their chest. A bolt, mind you, that fits perfectly into your very own crossbow that lies at your feet.
Well, that's Kai's cue. Kai is actually going to get up knowing that has come from her crossbow, and will actually apply some pressure to the wound, but not in the way you think. She's actually going to keep it there, and will start interrogating this person, if she's allowed to.
Yeah, you move over to where this cultist is, and crouching down, just grab hold of this bolt, putting your knuckles against the wound, and just press and twist a little, and they howl in pain, and they go, "Ah! God! What? Get me out of my misery.
Well, what do we have here?
What do you want from me, bastard?
It appears that we've lost sight of a rather pesky mage. Where is he?
I'm not telling you nothing.
And she's going to press harder and actually put the arrow even deeper into where it landed.
Why don't you roll an easy coercion check, so that'll be 1 difficulty, and I'll give you a boost die because of these circumstances.
Oh, awesome. Well, I just have 3 advantage.
Well, even here, they are going to suffer some strain as you see their eyelids start to flutter once you apply more pressure to this wound that you've inflicted upon them, supposedly. And they let out a low groan, having abandoned their screaming for now, and you see their heads start to tilt a little, going down, down, and then they jolt back up and are reinvigorated with pain. And they say, Jeez.
Sorry, what was it?
Gods, what are you, your comrades? They tracked him further down, didn't they? Oh no, you shot me! You shot me!
Get used to it. And she'll actually shove him to his side, moving the arrow as she does, and will walk away from him.
As he tumbles to the ground, you just hear this like, and then this gurgling as he falls unconscious, afflicted by the strain of that encounter. Now, looking around this room, you notice a cascade of rock and dust has blocked one exit, leaving only one passage for you to follow, sloping ever downward.
And she will take it as her only option. And she doesn't know any better, so...
And you move on then, down and down. Deeper in this complex, in an antechamber made up entirely of a wide staircase, the sound of steel sings in the dark as a great sword batters against a pair of blades. Allie, why don't you give us a physical description of your character?
Kel is an elfkin, like Kai, but is actually shorter than Kai is. She's about 5'10". She's athletic, kind of wiry, very strong looking, wields her greatsword with dignity and respect. She's got very pale gray skin that almost looks like it could be more of like a human skin tone until you get up close and you realize that something's very off about the way she looks. She's got large yellow-green eyes that kind of shift from like a sickly yellow to almost like a lime green in certain lighting. She's wearing leather armor, dark leather armor, with a dark green cloak and cowl, and also she has a matching mask that hangs on the lower half of her face that obscures most of her face from view. She's also got a large staff on her back as well as like a saddlebag and a backpack. Her hair is long and silver and white, and it's braided back from her face in like a massive braid, but because she's fighting, pieces of her hair are kind of falling out and hanging over her mask and hanging out of her cape and cowl also.
And on this staircase, locking blades with this dual-wielding cultist, why don't you roll heavy melee attack? And you'll have 1 boost die on top of any other bonuses you may have.
So I rolled 2 advantages.
So as your blades meet, you aren't able to land a definite hit, though this cultist does seem to be a bit off-balanced as he attempts a riposte. And spinning under a subsequent strike and coming up behind you, the point of one of their swords is then pressed against the back of your neck. And you know that any movement will earn you a severed spinal cord.
I think Kel will stop moving for the time being, not wanting to get decapitated, and we'll just kind of hold and wait and see what they're gonna do.
You hear a little chuckle, honestly, from behind you, as, again, there's a little pinprick of steel in the back of your neck, and this cultist goes, "They thought you the warrior, all of them, but no, you'll die like the dog you truly are. Any last words?"
And then right as that happened here,
and in the next second, the back of your head, Kel, is sprayed with blood, and you just hear this cultist go, and then tumble down the stairs as a crossbow bolt flies basically straight through his jaw and out the other side. And you just hear him start to choke on his own blood as he falls down the stairs. and then you hear a pair of footfalls coming out of the dark down the stairs toward you.
So I'll kind of turn and kind of lift my greatsword just in case it's a non-friendly until I see Kai come around the corner.
Oh, well, he wasn't much fun, was he?
Well, they never are. Where are the others?
How should I know? You're the first one I stumbled upon.
Well, I think Arnor should be down here somewhere.
And Kai, as a gesture to Kel, who's already wary of her, will put her hand out to her to lift her up.
Oh, she wasn't on the ground.
Yeah, I wasn't on the ground. I was still standing, I think.
Well, even more is going to patronize you. It's going to be like, let me help you.
Kel is going to very carefully just shift out of the way so your hand just grazes by her. And she's just going to give you a look over the top of her mask, like, come on.
Well, right this way. And she's going to use her hand instead to gesture forward to wherever. Kai doesn't know. She's just talking out of her butt.
Kel knows this, and so Kel is going to say, after you.
Then a flickering, void-tinged light and the sounds of battle beckon you through the riveted double doors at the bottom of the stairs. In a large chamber, perhaps once housing a sarcophagus of some noteworthy ancient, void energies swirl in the air and strange gravitational forces buffet against a great shield emblazoned with the symbol of a nine-tailed firebird. As wood splinters and waves of heat cascade around you, Seth, why don't you give us a description of your character?
You see a large Demlik man, late 20s. He's built pretty stockily, and he has long shoulder-length hair. It's white, it's pulled back, has green eyes, has a little bit of some facial hair, mostly on the chin, but it looks like he's been out and about for a while and hasn't really had time to keep up with his normal appearance. He's wearing leather armor, and obviously, as Ryan mentioned, he has this large great shield, this bulwark.
Now, as you are just being buffeted by force and energy, it relents for a moment, and you just hear this voice echoing in this stone chamber. Come on, pup. You're down to one. Do you think you can best me?
I'll do what I can to help the company. Why don't we just talk this out?
Talk. You came here to kill me, didn't you? I know how you all operate. I'm no fool. Not like you Ironwood dogs.
You are no fool, but we didn't come here to kill you. We came to get the information.
I don't know what hells you're talking about. I won't entertain it any longer. And then you feel another wave of force ripple toward you. And as you are pushed back, barely holding on with your shield under the weight of this telekinetic blast, you hear the doors behind you open as Kai and Kel storm into the room at the same time as, across the way, Sirocco, Bread, and Finn emerge from a side corridor. This mage's confident look quickly fades as you see him take a few unconscious steps backward before moving fully behind a raised altar. It's anyone's game.
Kai, if she hasn't prepared already, her crossbow will do so now and will take aim at the mage.
Kel is going to step a little closer to where Arnor is, maybe more towards the middle of the room, and kind of give him a quick up and down just to see if he's noticeably injured anywhere or if he seems to have taken a lot of damage, just to kind of assess the situation at where they're at.
He's on a knee, he's got a couple bruises, but he seems okay.
Okay.
Is the altar where this mage is at, is that in the middle of the room?
No, it's kind of on the terminal end.
Sirocco, with his sword already drawn, is going to briefly make eye contact with Arnor and Kel, and then he is going to slowly move around towards the mage, kind of in the start of a pincer formation so that we can converge on this guy.
He gives another chortle and he's just like, really? Information, this one said. Demlik bastard. You think... You honestly expect me to believe you now that you want information? You've killed my flock.
You attacked us first.
Because you had no right to be here.
What if we wanted to join your cult?
You're not the type.
No, that's very true.
Pissant.
Bread will pull his hat up onto his head and say, anybody need a doctor?
No one moves a muscle, or I'll bring this whole place down around our ears.
Assuming there wasn't any sort of, like, dossier given to them about this particular Void users.
All you know about this guy is he's the last guy to have seen Korvak, and you know that they were associated before he became, Void Mage.
From his experience with Void and Void usage, does Finn know what type of power is being channeled through this individual, and if so, what a weakness to it would be?
Why don't you roll for me a forbidden knowledge check?
Oh, very nice.
Good thing I'm proficient in that.
Something I just discovered on my character sheet I've never seen before. Forbidden knowledge. That's awesome.
That will be too difficulty, but I'm going to give you a setback because you haven't seen this mage in action.
Finn got 4 successes and 1 threat.
With that threat, I'm going to say that knowing this, you are unsettled because this mage seems to have a pretty decent grasp on chaotics.
Delightful.
The most dangerous form of void magic. The forms being telekinetics, antikinetics, and chaotics.
Strolling in probably the last one onto the scene through his door, Finn, how close in proximity are the two groups of us, of the party members, through the doors? Like, are we fairly close?
You're all within short range of each other and the mage.
Finn walks in, senses the general vibe of the room, has this intuition, just seeing the things that have been done and kind of the presence of void that is there, and speaking to mainly the members of his group, just says, "We should stick to trying to reason with him. I fear his powers are unstable enough that even a well-planned tactical assault would go quite poorly."
Ah. You mean there's actually a brain among you?
Well, there certainly isn't one in you.
I've been trying to talk to you this entire time. Just tell us where Korvak is.
Korvak? I should have known that's what you were after. So then, that makes you all the new pups suckling at that bastard Gomon's toxic teat. Fools, all of you. All of you fools. You know the Vipers. They stood for something in the end. And the day where their slow poison finally works its way from heel to head of that damnable Ironwood company. Ooh, that'll be a day of great rejoicing the world over.
Care to share more details then?
What use would it be? You're so caught up then already in that fool's schemes. You know, Gomon's as misguided as the damned compact. They think they understand the void, but they don't. They fear it. And no one's better off. Kin, humans, sanguine. Lapdogs all. Now to the real puppet masters. But no, I'm no fool. My eyes are open. Korvak showed me. And his friend Ethelward, before the latter set off for Viridian to truly bungle old Hector's plans. He seems to be getting more tense as time progresses, and none of you can see his hands behind the altar. I'm just gonna say that. No, I'm not going to just tell you where he is, and don't none of you take a one step closer!
Finn's gonna take a leisurely stroll closer to him.
While you're doing that, why don't you roll vigilance?
All right.
This will be a contest.
Ba-boom. 2 successes.
You don't really notice anything as you take a step forward, though this mage, his eyes hone in on you, and he gives you just this dastardly shake of his head, and he says, "I'm giving you one last warning. One more step, and it'll be the end of you."
Well, I certainly do not want that. And I don't think you want that either. I think you know what happens to those who mess with the chaotics of Void. It does not end well for those around them or those who use it.
You don't know a damn thing.
While they're talking, Kel is going to slowly shift, like trying so hard not to be seen, just slightly behind Arnor and the shield because she was right next to him. So she's like watching Finn antagonize this person who is messing around with really messed up stuff, and she's just going to slowly shift behind Arnor, moving so slowly, just so she could be in line with the shield if she has to duck or something.
Finn is going to put both of his hands up, non-threateningly, and he's going to slowly reach down towards his satchel, not reaching for anything in it, just to hoist it up slightly. Then he says, What you say intrigues me. I agree with you entirely that those of the Compact and of the Ironwood Company itself do not grasp void at all. I can show you, though, something that might pique your interest.
He closes his eyes and gives this strangely solemn shake of his head. No, I've had enough of this chit-chat. I didn't want it to come to this. But for Korvak, for the Vipers, I'll gladly go into that great shadow. And you lot, live or no, will have me laughing all the while from Vale's embrace.
While this guy is talking, I'm going to go ahead and spend a story point and have Sirocco make eye contact with Kai across the room, and he's going to give a very slight gesture indicating to Kai that she should take the shot on this guy while he's yapping his trap.
It's up to you, Chris. Do you want Kai to take the shot?
You betcha. Just waiting for the signal. And is she short range, medium, long? Like
That is short range, yes, and I'll give you 2 boosts.
You sly dog, you got me monologuing.
I love it so much. Okay, is that 1 success and 2 advantage?
Yes, it is.
Woohoo!
As you let that bolt fly, it streaks across the room and hits him square in the chest, interrupting his little tirade, and he just balks. And in that moment that he takes a step back, you see his hands finally revealed a little over the lip of the altar, just pulsing with this weird, almost light distortion, black and purple energy. And with his last breath, he releases it.
Oh, shoot.
Arnor's going to brace himself.
Kel is gonna duck right behind Arnor in the shield if it's still up.
Brilliant.
All right. With that chaotics check from the dying mage, that's 6 successes, 1 advantage, and a triumph.
Oh,
That's real bad.
The party's obliterated.
TPK, first episode.
And as pockets of untethered void erupt all around the room, pulling, twisting, warping each of you, the room itself, as stone and dust clatters around you, darkness overtakes all of your sight.